Alright, so today we've got my 2004 Dodge Neon SXT, and we gotta replace this radiator and also this airbox because all the mounting brackets are broke from hitting a deer. So that's cool, but we gotta do this radiator, and we'll do this as well. And then if that goes well and it runs okay, I've got a door to replace this banged up one. Not that it's going to make it look all that much better, but hey, it won't be banged up here. So I'm going to put you on time lapse, and we'll take this out. It's pretty easy, actually. It's this bracket here, undo the upper and lower hoses, and it pulls pretty much straight up. It's not bad. A couple of wires and stuff to get out of the way. Not a big deal. But that's what we got going on. And it's easier this time. I've actually done this radiator once. Last time I did it, it was all pushed up into here from hitting a deer. But this radiator don't work no more. So we're going to get her taken out and put in with a new one I got sitting in a box back there. Alright. So status update here, got everything out. I fixed the AC hopefully. So when I hit that deer, it ripped the connector off here. And so what I've got is I did some dielectric grease on there, get the pins, so that's okay because it's been off for a while. But I got some 3M epoxy in there and I just absolutely slathered it over. And I got duct tape here, nice 3M UV and water resistant duct tape wrapped around it, kind of holding it in place till that sets. So maybe, just maybe, the AC will work again. Not that it matters so much because I don't drive it really in the summer. but we got the radiator out. Anyway, kind of mangled that one. That's not ideal, but honestly, I'm not trying to waste my time with this car so much. It's not worth taking the proper route per se. But you can see the bend here in this. I pulled that out with it was a come along hooked to a tree. I had to pull that out. It was bent all the way like back here because I drove over this fucking deer. Anyway, it didn't do me any favors, put it that way. But so got the AC fixed. While I was in here, I had room to actually get in here to work on it. I got the AC condenser still here. I believe it originally had 2 bolts in the bottom, but we're not bothering with this. Just bend these tabs back from out of the way. Don't have to unhook any of the lines, so it's still pressurized. Don't have to touch any of that. And we should be able to drop the new radiator in and then kind of shimmy the fans in around it. So kind of have to force it, but hey, it works. And then make sure you don't forget your trans lines. And then I'll get the computer back in because I had to pull the computer out to get the clearance to go this way. So I got the computer here, and they are all notched slightly differently, so you can't fuck this up, FYI. And they are color-coded. If you look right here, they're all color-coded. bubbling for a while because it's gotta get all the air bubbles out of the system here. Gotta wait for the thermostat to open up here, and it'll probably drink a bunch into the engine here. But I got it filled through here. I'm not a fan. I always love the radiators where the cap's on it so I can fill from here. In theory, I could have taken this hose off and filled it that way, but it'll fill. But what we got is I got our new air box in here that actually closes all the way because it's in one piece, and it actually bolts down in both spots down here. Got all our mass airflow, got our two sensors hooked up throttle body. Throttle body's tight. Got our two vacuum lines that go into this system here hooked up. Got our upper rad hose tight, our lower rad hose tight. Got both transmission lines tight here and on the radiator. We do got to check the fluid after we drive it because it will be a little low because there is some in the trans cooler. Starting to work our way down. It's starting to drink up. It's got brand new 50/50 coolant. I just mixed it with distilled water. I got this clip in. We are not dripping anything down here, it appears, which is good. You know what the funniest bit that happened today here is when I was driving this up the ramp, this car sits so low, it clips these ramps. It knocked the wiper washer or washer fluid motor off of the washer fluid reservoir. Didn't break anything, just pulled it out when I was going up because it's right up there. Knocked him clean off and dumped all my washer fluid out, which is unfortunate. Anyway, it's running. Got plenty of air bubbles coming out still. That should be what it is. I think is it's kind of bleeding through the. There's a little valve inside the thermostat where it'll bleed through, and I think it's bleeding through, which is good. Otherwise, it sounds good. It's running all right. Having this air box that doesn't do this. You should watch it move around when you give it gas here because it kind of likes to do this. That was hilarious to watch. But running. I got the heat on in here, so ideally we'll get heat in here at some point. I'm gonna throw that in there. But I'm gonna have to just watch it for a bit, wait for the thermostat to open up, and bleed the cooling system, and hopefully we don't get hot anymore. So the problem with that radiator is I made a mistake, guys. In diagnosing two bad thermostats, I had put a thermostat in it new, right? Started overheating, was having issues. I put another thermostat in it, that didn't fix it, and it's like I had a new radiator in it. I had fresh coolant in it. I'd gone through all that, you know, it's like, well, what else is wrong besides a small head gasket leak? And so I'm like, I know this stuff, they say it doesn't work, it clogs everything up. I put some stop leak in here, I think it was Barr's stop leak. And sure, it clogged everything up. I think it clogged the radiator. That's what we're hoping anyway. That's my last ditch effort. Because it runs way too good and smooth for it to be a head gasket, and I'm not seeing oil in the coolant, I'm not seeing coolant in the oil, so the only thing it could be, if it's got to be the combustion ring that would be leaking air into the coolant system, but I don't think it is, because we, turns out, I'd given up on the car, honestly, I gave up on the car. My dad's like, I'm going to throw a thermostat in. I'm like, I've done it twice, you know. He throws a thermostat in there, and it fixes most of the cooling issues. Like, you're driving down the road, and it doesn't get hot now. It only gets hot when you come to an idle, which means, in my opinion, that the fans can't pull enough air through the radiator to keep it cool because the stop leak clogged the entire radiator. Which, you know, makes sense, I guess. We'll see. That's my running theory. I gave it one last hope. I said, you know what? Thermostat was the main issue because I bought two bad thermostats allegedly. And I was, you know, chasing a, you know, wild goose chase or whatever in this cooling system. So I'm like, I'll put a radiator in it. I got this one off of Rock Auto. It's a TRQ or something, or TRW. TVC. TYC. TYC is what the box says over there. Anyway, we're going to try that. Ideally, we don't overheat anymore. And that'll be it. Now, I do still have heat because I was smart enough when I put the stop leak in. I capped off the heater core. because I knew it would clog that. Obviously, you know it clogs that, you know it clogs your radiator, but whatever. So, yeah, my advice, don't do the stop leak. I knew better before I did it, and then I did it. So, that's all I'm gonna say. Oh, I think maybe thermostat might start to open. But, yeah. That's where we're at. I'm gonna watch this for a bit, bleed it. Well, you know the drill here. I'll let you know the outcome here, hopefully. All right, got the cooling system all bled. Lines are all nice and warm. Got pressure. I got the overflow topped off so it can suck extra if it needs it. And heat gauge is sitting nice and pretty just below half. I got hot air coming out here, so we're doing good. We are looking good so far. Yeah, that's nice heat. Hell yeah. Yeah, and it's been out here idling, 15-20 minutes or so, and I mean that's sitting perfect. Before, well, after, I guess I want to say, before we replaced the thermostat the third time with the actual good one, it would sit a tick just above half, and the fans would kick on, and then it would just go nuclear. After we figured out that the thermostat was bad twice, and got a good thermostat, it would sit just above half, and you would drive it, and it would sit just above half, and then you come to let's say you drive it for 30 minutes, so you come to like a stoplight or something, and then it would slowly start to creep up to about 3/4. But if you got it moving again, got it going highway speeds, it would come back down to just above half. But every Dodge I've ever driven, I haven't driven that many, but I've driven enough, they all sit one tick below half, all of them, except this car, after I'd hit that deer and replaced the thermostat the first time. I'm pretty sure it sat just like this before I hit the deer. I'd driven the car 2 weeks, so I'm trying to remember. My memory's foggy, I guess. But the 2 weeks I drove it, I'm pretty sure it sat like that. I didn't notice any issues with it until after I'd hit the deer. And that thermostat it wasn't like bad originally. Like I did the radiator, like I did the thermostat, and I did a heater core. I did a heater core in this. That's when I did the thermostat. I did the radiator, and shortly after I did the radiator, the old heater core quit. I almost wonder if some debris got shook up when I blew that radiator or something, you know what I mean? But I had to do the heater core, and when I did the heater core, I did the thermostat as a preventative issue, and I think that caused a lot of headache. But anyway, what I'm saying is it seems to be sitting in a normal spot for a Chrysler Dodge vehicle right now, which gives me hope that it's we think we got her whipped finally. Sweet. But I take it for a test drive, but from it sitting all summer parked, the right rear tire, the brake is locked up. Don't ask me how I got it up on the ramps here. That was a struggle and a half, because I drug the tire across the yard. Oh, not my proudest moment. This is definitely the shade tree coming out in me right here, working on this vehicle. But I don't know, a little backstory on this here. I mean, maybe I'll do a video on this winter, since I didn't figure it would hang around 2 winters. But here she is. I bought this at Copart like September of 22. I bought it for a cheap winter vehicle. I think I was under $1,000 after the dealer fees and stuff, just under $1,000 after dealer fees. I think I put a set of winter tires on it. Drove it right off the trailer. Well, I drove it off the trailer, put a set of winter tires in it, changed the oil, and I think I've been driving it since. I did a couple of things to it, and then I drove it for 2-3 weeks, and then I nailed it deer on the interstate, and radiator, and I drove it all winter, and I started having issues this spring, and I parked it after fiddling with it, and now she's here. And I think over that winter I bought it, it had 144,945 miles when I drove it off the trailer, and we are at 161,031. So I put what, 54, just under 20,000 miles in it over that winter and spring. So, just a little commuter car anyway. It did fine the entire winter. So, but anyway, it's rambling here, but it seems fine. That's the best I've ever seen that do since we started having issues. I think I got her whipped. So, the initial problem was a twice bad thermostat that fooled us into thinking it wasn't a thermostat issue, which then escalated into me dumping a bottle of stop leak and clogging the radiator, which then made the car go nuclear. And now she's running perfect with a new, again, radiator and a third new thermostat. And it's got a new heater core and new coolant, and yeah, so cool. That's very cool. So this will once again, I think, be our winter beacher. Very good. I think that'll do it for the cooling system fix video, since I guess I'm kind of doing that. I got to take that brake drum apart and open that brake up and probably lube everything up a little bit, put it back together, and then use it. I think it's just stuck from sitting. I'm sure the brake shoes are welded to the drum, so I just got to get it beat apart, broke free, and use it a little bit, and I think it'll be fine. I did the rear brakes. Oh, I did the brakes in it. I did rear brakes in it when I bought it too. So at least I think I put pads on both sides, or shoes on both sides, so I was in there last winter and I knew everything was working at that point. But I'm rambling. I think we fixed the cooling system. That actually makes me really, really happy. After I gave up on the car. I was gonna sell it for $300-400. My dad's like, put a thermostat in it. Let me try it. Sure as shit. I don't know. Whatever, sometimes it'd be like that. But I think we're good. I think we are good. Alright, so I drove it around a little bit. Did fine. I gave it to her. I put it through the hoops here, and it was running good. I pulled it in the driveway. I watched it kick the one fan on for a little bit on the radiator, kicked it right back off. It was fine. And so I did a thing here after. I'm like, well, hey, it seems like the heating system's fixed. Why don't we take a stab at the old cooling system here again? Blow it nice and cold. So my epoxy duct tape job worked. And down there, we got a compressor spinning again. So this thing's got AC. First time I've ever been able to use the AC because I bought it in the winter. But, it works. And you got the AC fans on, and with the AC running, it is not overheating. So I'm going to take it for a ride with the AC running here, and we'll just make sure that doesn't overheat while driving with the AC either, because it shouldn't. And then I think we're all set. Then it needs an oil change and a bath. And so this door here, this is why she got totaled at Copart. Totaled in quotes. I think that's what did her in. Was that dent in this door. Door still works fine, but I came across this door at the U-pull, and it's not dented. Anyway, I had to have it. So I think we're gonna put that door in, at least get rid of the dent here. I mean, we still got a scuff here, and obviously the quarters, rear quarters missing. But that's another problem. We'll get this fixed anyway. But I think we're good. Yeah, we're looking great.